If you want dictionaries, not only for Quran but for ordinary Arabic, then of course Hans Wehr is very good. He gives Madi Mudara. He also writes the letters, Kataba, and then he doesn't write I or ist, he just writes you, Yaktubu. And then he gives Masdar. It's very important, Masdar. He gives Masdar but in Latin letters. And then if it is verb, he'll give you only first of all the meaning of the word mujarrad, and then he will go on to give the mazid. Number 2 means bab fa'ala, number 3 is bab fa'ala, like that. He has of course explained, and all of you know the numbers of the various babs. If it is a noun, he will write second declension. Second declension means mamnu min as-sarf, second declension. And when he finishes with the verb, he comes up with the derivatives, nouns. For example, kataba yaktubu, and then he will kitab, maktab, all that. So it's a good dictionary. It's based on modern Arabic. If you want to find out the meanings of especially words that are special to Quran, Kataba, for example, you will find out. But there is a word Kataba, for example. Kataba in modern Arabic is to correspond. But in the Quranic Arabic, Kataba has a different meaning. That you will not find. It is not meant for. But in rice you will find Kataba. What does it mean? That is the contract that a slave gets into with his master to buy his freedom, to purchase his freedom. He will say within a period of 2 years, 3 years, whatever period they agree to, I will pay you, or I will serve you for such a period, I will pay you such an amount of money. That is mukataba. فَكَاتِبُوهُمْ in Surah Al-Nur, فَكَاتِبُوهُمْ. So that you will not find. But you will find in Penrice, you will find in Abbas Nadwi's dictionary, the words, the meanings that are specially used in the Quran, and the forms, certain forms may not be found in modern Arabic, but they are found in the Quranic Arabic. All that you will find in these 3 books. There is a Arabic book, a small book. It is called Al-Misbah al-Munir. Al-Misbah al-Munir. Al-Misbah al-Munir, that is bright lamp. The author is Fayyumi, Al-Fayyumi. Al-Fayyumi. If you want to write, I will. Al-Fayyumi, Al-Misbah al-Munir. Al-Misbah al-Munir by Al-Fayyumi. It's a small dictionary. It's very useful. It does not contain all the words, selected words. Al-Misbah al-Munir. Al-Misbah al-Munir lil-Fayyumi. You know the lam. Lam is used for by the author. You say Al-Misbah al-Munir lil-Fayyumi. This dictionary, the speciality of this dictionary is that it mentions the bab. Bab, other modern dictionaries mention the bab, but they write fatha, dhamma, kasra, the print, fatha, dhamma, kasra. But here, that may lead to mistakes also, because printing mistakes, instead of fatha you can put kasra. He doesn't do that. For you, he says bab kada, bab nasara, bab fataha. So you can't make a mistake there, because he mentions the basic words which are used to determine the abwab. He is very particular about abwab. You will not find this in other dictionaries. And also singular and plural. Plural of nouns. He is very particular about it, very correct whenever he mentions plurals of nouns, and bab of verbs. For, of course, that is a dictionary of ancient time. You will not find words that are used in modern Arabic. If you want modern Arabic, of course, you have Hans Wehr. Hans Wehr gives modern words belonging to modern Arabic. Words like electricity, like telephone, and all that you will find. A dictionary in Arabic is Al-Mu'jam Al-Wasit. Al-Mu'jam Al-Wasit. Wasit means what? Medium. Al-Mu'jam is a dictionary. It's not very large dictionary, it's not very small, but it's medium. Al-Mu'jam Al-Wasit. It's one of the publications of the Arab Academy of Egypt. There are academies. One of them is in Egypt, so it is a publication of the Arab Academy, Arabic Language Academy in Egypt. It doesn't have one author, it's a group of people. It's also, I think, available. Do you have this? Yes. Al-Mu'jam Al-Wasit. Of course, those who have, they're learning the language may not be able to understand much from these, but in future you will inshallah be able to understand both these books. But at present you may go in for these English the three books that I have mentioned first. They will help you a lot. Moralist translation and Abbas Nadwi's Mu'jam Alfaz al-Quran and Penrice. Reading will help inshallah. I would suggest, of course, along with the Quran, the translation of Sahih al-Bukhari. Sahih al-Bukhari, because the language of the Quran is inimitable. But the hadith, language of hadith, you can make use of it in your daily life, because there are a lot of expressions that can be useful in daily life. So it's doubly because it is also a book of hadith, and also you will benefit from the linguistic point of view. You have Mohsin Khan's translation, Hilali and Khan, translation by Hilali and Khan in 9 volumes. It has been published by various publishers, Darus Salam, for example. So it is, this text of the hadith is on the right and the translation is on the left. It's a simple translation, and you will inshallah benefit from this. There is also a book, a collection of hadith, the Riyadh al-Salihin. I think you also have this, Riyadh al-Salihin Nawawi. It's selection from Bukhari, Muslim and different collections of hadith, and arranged according to subjects like Tawbah, like Salah, like different topics. You also have translation for this. So if you have translation, that will also help you. I would suggest that whenever you read and come across a word that you have been looking for, you want to express an idea and you don't know what word to use, you can, if you find this word, you can take down, have a small dictionary like thing, jot down all these words that you find useful. And also, more than words, I would suggest the expressions, sentences, or half a sentence that you think is very useful. You want to use this in your life, that kind of expression. You can either highlight it in the text itself so that you can easily find out, the expressions, and also make a note of these expressions at the end of the book. Usually there are 2 or 3 pages without writing. You can make a note there, cross-referencing. So that way, when you finish reading this book, you will have a very good collection of words and expressions. But mostly you must go in for expressions. You have ready-made sentences there. What to say, you will find sentences, and you can, as you say in Latin, mutatis mutandis. Make necessary changes. If it is masculine, don't use masculine for feminine. If it is feminine, use the masculine when you are speaking to a man. Plural, if it is singular, you want to use it plural, change it. You know the language. So don't use as they are, but make necessary changes and use them. That will help you a lot. In Arabic, there are 2 modes. One is pausal mode and the other is continuous mode. There are rules and regulations, a lot of. So according to the rule of waqf, you must say al-kitab. When you stop, you say al-kitab, ra'aytul kitab. You don't say ra'aytul kitaba. But I've been telling people, the Arabs, when they listen to people learning like this, ra'aytul kitaba, they will say, no, you must tell ra'aytul kitab. I say it is wrong. For learning, you must, later on, after you learn the language, you can make use of the rules of pause, al-waqf. But while you are learning the language, it's better to use the non-pausal form, ra'aytul kitab. Otherwise, you will not learn the language. Arabs have difficulty in learning the language because they always use without the final vowel. There is a famous saying in Arabic, sakkin taslam. Sakkin, that means use sukoon, taslam, you will be safe. Sakkin taslam. Why taslam is majzoom? Sakkin taslam. Taslam majzoom. Why? Jawab al-talab. Sakkin taslam. Salima yaslabu. Sakkin taslam. That is, read with sukoon and you will be safe. Lam, you say lam yaktub, yaktub, always yaktub, lan yaktub, lam yaktub, lan yaktub. So you don't know, even the man who has probably, he knows the grammar probably. So we can't learn. Masmuka, masmuki. You will never learn if you have sukoon how to say masmuka and masmuki. It's a masmuk for both. So it is better not to follow the rule of waqf while you are learning the language. It's better to ignore it for the time being. And even if by habit later on you also do not make use of the rule of waqf, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. So even if you say masmuka and masmuki, no problem. So when you are teaching, those who are teaching, it's better always to bring out the final vowel so that the student learns it. Al-kitabu, min al-kitabi, with emphasis. Kitabun, al-kitabu, kitabun. Without al, it should be tanween. To bring out the tanween. So this way, the students will learn. Otherwise, it's difficult to learn because the language, the grammar of Arabic, the language of Arabic is all based on the endings. If you know the endings, you learn the language. If you read with sukoon, you will never learn the language. There is a saying, the Europeans say, you read a language to understand. You read a language, English, French, German, whatever. You read a language to understand. But you understand Arabic to read. You read a language to understand, but you understand Arabic to read. I know. Is it kataba, kutiba? When you understand, first of all, just take half a second. Say katabat aminatu. Katabat aminatu. Or kataba Muhammadun. It may be kataba Muhammadun. It may be kutubu Muhammadin. Books of Muhammad. Both are possible. If you say katabat, you say it may be katabat, or it may be katabta, it may be katabti, it may be katabtu. So unless you understand the sentence, you will not be able to read it properly. So try to understand sentence. I have seen students immediately reading the word, and then next word they have to stop there because it doesn't click. So don't read. First of all, try to understand the sentence. 2 words, 3 words, whatever it is. Try to understand sentence, then read. So it is, if it is Kutubu Muhammadin, then of course it's a Kutubu Muhammadin. If it is Kataba Muhammadun, Muhammad wrote. So the context will tell you what it is. The context will tell you. It's not so difficult. The context will always tell you what the word is. Sometimes, very rarely, you may get a sentence where it is difficult to, because the context doesn't help you. But mostly the context will help you. So first of all, understand Arabic should be understood. Who told you that quotient IQ? Arabic enhances the IQ. Use. Yeah.
If you want to increase your IQ,
Yeah. So Arabic is makes you always alert. You have to understand sentence before you. Also, when you speak, you should know what the ending should be before you speak. It's a language which needs attention and understanding of the language. So those who teach, please emphasize the endings, and then repetition. Lot of repetition. Languages are not learned by lectures. You can learn mathematics, physics, all the subjects by just listening to the lecture. You can listen. But language is a skill. It's not a knowledge. It's a skill. A skill is like driving a car. It's like typing. So the more you do, the more you learn. But just if somebody teaches you how to drive in a classroom and then you will either either end up in a ditch or in a policeman's arms. So languages have to be practiced. Lot of practice, in language, it is the ear which helps you. If somebody says, I go to he says, it's not wrong, it's wrong. He'll say, what do you say it is wrong? He says, I don't know, but I have never heard I go to him, I go to he. I always heard people saying, I go to him. So he may not know the grammatical basis of the construction, but his ear will always help him. So the more you hear correct language, the more you will find out. Even without knowing the grammar, I have seen, there was a student from Greece, Irfan, his name was Irfan. He came and he was speaking correct Arabic. So I wanted to put him in the final level. He said, no, I don't know the language. How come you do speak? He said, when the Arabs come to my place, I always follow them, listen to them, and help them, and I listen to them. And that's how I learned the language. I don't know the grammatical basis of these things. I just know how to speak. There was another man from Afghanistan. He spoke perfect Arabic, but he did not know grammar. Perfect Arabic. And also he said that he used to be with the Arabs and learn the language. And the universities refused to put him in the language course. He was put in the university program and he failed because he did not know the language. So you can, the ear plays by repetition you will find out what is the correct ending, what is the correct form of your verb. By repeating several times, you must ask your students to repeat, and that will help you a lot to find out the correct position of a word, even if you do not know the grammatical basis. Book 1, I always tell my colleagues, it should not, when he teaches the book 1, he should sit down and rest. His students should do the work. You say, Ma hadha, hadha kitabun, hadha qalamun, hadha qalamun la. Then he sits down, then every student comes and practices. If there is 10 students, 10 times the students here, the same thing. He gets the confidence to speak these sentences, to pronounce these sentences. So language at the beginning should be only practice. The teacher should rest. And when he comes to book 2, book 3, he can do some work. But in the beginning, the work should be done mainly by the students. You must have language aids. These language aids help. Brother Asif has done so many charts and all. But there should also be other aids. And I think I used to do this. In teaching my book, it should be acted out. Each student should be given a role. One should be, we got brothers and sisters, so each one takes a role, and each one says when his chance comes, he speaks out. So they can understand and live the language, actually, so that will help a lot to understand the construction of the sentences. And we can make a small aids. For example, we have fi mahalli jar, fi mahalli rafa. So we can have a piece of paper, for example, like this, and do like this, and say ja'a hadha, for example, hadha, and then here below you write bilalun. Ja'a Bilalun. Hada doesn't show anything. So we say it is fi mahalli raf'in. You can show, you see here, this is marfu'. Hada fi mahalli raf'. So also other forms. When you come to maqsoor, the sentence I have given in the book, qatala al-fata al-af'a bil-asa. Qatal al-fata al-af'a, the boy killed the viper with a stick. To bring out the real endings, the endings here are muqaddara. You can't pronounce them because of the alif, because of the alif. Alif doesn't take fatha, kasra, dhamma. So you can say, for example, bring other words which have the same meaning and which take fatha, dhamma, kasra. So for example, you say qatala al-waladu. Al-waladu, you got dhamma. Qatala al-fata, also same like that. Qatala al-waladu al-hayyata. Bil-udi, oud, stick, bil-udi. Here you see all the three vowels. Qatala al-waladu al-hayyata bil-udi. The same way, qatala al-fata al-af'a bil-asa. Same ending, we don't see them. And I was telling you, for Mamnoon min as-sarf, I wanted to do this, but we didn't have time. You can draw two dhammas on a hardboard or cardboard and paint them as if they are iron, look like iron, follow me? And ask a boy to lift them, two dhammas, hamidun, he lifts them very easily. Call a girl and ask her, she is not able to leave these two dhammas. And I say, we absolve you of one dhamma, you can take only one dhamma, retain only one dhamma. So this kind of thing, the aids help a lot. At Islamic University, I made a small skit with Bumnum and Sarf. There was a man distributing tanween. He said, I distribute tanween free of charge. So he comes, then people go, I want a tanween. What's your name? My name is Bilal. Oh, Bilal, okay, I'll give you. Then he puts the tanween here. His name is written Bilal here, and the tanween is pinned here. So you got Bilal on. Another one comes, so what's your name? My name is Shah Jahan. So no, you can't get him. Why? He said, because it's a foreign proper name, we can't get him. Okay, supposing it's very long, and he says, okay, if I remove half of it, will you accept? Okay, if you have Shahun only, will give you. Shah Jahan, no. Shahun, only 3 letters, we can give you. Then a sister comes and says, no, you can't get. Why? It's only for boys, for men. I'm sorry, you can't. And then Hamza comes and says, Hamza, no, I can't. You have got a trait of women in you. Trait of women, what is it? You got ta marbuta. So these kind of William, no, it's only for Arabs. You get out. So there was a brother who was very humorous and he did it very well. So these kind of things can be done, and the language learning can be really very lively and interesting and enjoyable. Grammar classes, Arabic classes in Arab countries, all the Arab countries are very, very dry, and the students run away from these classes. Very difficult and very taxing. Many students don't like, because the way it is taught, same old books, the teacher repeats whatever. When I was teaching, an inspector came. You know the word inspector here, or what do you use? Huh? Yes, but in Canada use this word. In the schools you have inspectors. You have. Okay, inspector, there is a man who comes and finds out how the teacher is doing, evaluates him. You know what I mean? So he came. I was teaching Noon al-Thaqila, I think. Then when he went out, he took me and said, why don't our children learn like this? Why don't our children, that is Arab children, learn like this? They don't teach like this. Unfortunately, it's a classical method, just, you write the rule. And so language teaching can be made very lively and you have got the classical example of brother Asif, who has made the teaching of Arabic so interesting and lively. So we can have these language aids, live aids, students taking part, participation of the students. You ask them questions, they reply. That way the classes can be very interesting and students learn the skills of the language. Now these are some of the thoughts I wanted to share with you, and inshallah I find that there is a lot of interest in Arabic here, and students coming from far off, as Brother Asif told me, coming from distant places to learn the language, even when it was snowing or not. So that shows that there is a lot of interest, and this interest should be made use of, should be properly channeled. And we have, alhamdulillah, materials now. With the advent of the videos, we have got very useful material. We have got the book, we have the material, we have the dictionary, we have got the website, we have got the forum. So it's also going to help us a lot, inshallah. And when I come next time, inshallah. Not soon, but inshallah. I'll be, inshallah, I expect to find you more with more achievements and more interest in the language and more students, more teachers in the field, inshallah. And one more thing I would like to tell you, that we are getting emails from different parts of the world, from far off places, Australia, from India, Pakistan, from China, from this place, but not from Saskatoon and from Yellowknife and Whitehorse. So I don't know, there doesn't seem to be much work here. So you must try to have a franchise in these places. Inshallah. Okay, with these words I take leave of you. Inshallah we'll meet inshallah soon, bi-idhnillah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.